I have been listening to Sam Cooke live at Harlem Square on repeat for days. And I cannot get enough of it. It's so good. If you have not listened to it, you should listen to it. Anyway, so hello, you gorgeous and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. My name is Jami Lynn. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and what we're going to talk about today is commitment to whatever it is that you need to work on in relationship. The biggest issue I see in myself, in my clients, in partners I've had, the biggest issue I see is once you finally get to a place where you understand what it is that you're doing in relationship that's causing struggle, not really changing it. And let me be honest with you, this is not an easy process. It's hard to change yourself. It's actually, I'm gonna change that. It is hard to become aware of what you're doing in relationship that is creating problems and suffering for you. That is the hardest step. The move from unconscious doing, so when you're in subcortical brain area operating from either fear or judgment or shame or agenda, whatever space you might be operating in, moving from that to conscious awareness of your behaviors and your thoughts and the things that you are bringing into relationship. That's the hardest move. And then once you're aware of it, the change is actually not that hard. It's more about deciding that you're going to do something different than what you've always done, staying committed to that decision, and just continuing forward. It does not mean that you won't mess it up. Sometimes you will. That's just part of the growing process. That's just part of learning and practicing a new skill, a new way of being. But once you make the decision to really apply everything that you've learned, you will experience growth that you did not even know was possible. At the other side of it, you'll look back and go, oh my God, I'm a totally different person than I was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And hopefully that process continues forever. Hopefully we're always growing. If you're not growing, then you're stagnating, you're dying basically. But how often does it happen that we start to learn something but we don't actually apply it? Knowledge without application is pretty much useless. Truly, in the end, it's useless. If you've read a whole bunch of books and you've learned a whole bunch of really interesting information, but you never use that to improve your life, improve the lives of others, then is it really worthwhile? No, not really. So knowledge without application does not serve you. What does serve you is learning something and then doing everything you can to make that more of a reality in your life day in and day out. And so let me give you some examples, because I know this is a kind of big idea. I want to make it more concrete. Imagine you're a person who discovers that you are constantly in your head thinking anxious thoughts, worried about what other people might be saying, thinking, perceiving you as, and you're stuck there a lot of the time. Imagine you gain that knowledge. And you also gain the knowledge that for you, what really works to pull you out of that space is to experience gratitude, experience presence in whatever you're doing right now. So like really feeling your skin, hearing sounds around you, feeling your body moving. If that really helps you to get out of the thinking about what other people might be saying, what other people might be perceiving about you, then you have to do that over and over and over again until you build the neural networks in your brain that automatically go towards gratitude and presence rather than worry and wondering what other people are thinking about you. That's more of like a personal example. Let me give you a relational example. Imagine you discover that every time you get scared in relationship, every time you think to yourself, I'm disconnected from my partner, the thing that you do is approach them from an angry space, trying to make them realize what they're doing wrong that's causing the disconnection. As soon as you have that knowledge, as soon as you have that awareness, then you can start being curious about, okay, what would I rather do? What if in those moments I approach my partner with a really loving hug and I ask them, how are you today? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? And you make a commitment to do that move instead of the move that is more natural to you because of your history, because of your experience in this world. And so instead of moving towards them with anger and agenda, you move towards them with openness and curiosity and an invitation for conversation. I'm trying to think if there's another one. There's another one that I just thought of that I have a particular client working on right now where their nervous system moves to anger really quickly. When they're upset, when they want something done, they move to anger and they start shouting. And sometimes the shouting includes degrading language. And so they're trying to change that. And the very first step, the hardest step, is becoming aware of it, like truly aware of it. Not just, I know I do this thing, but I can catch myself about to do it because I know what it feels like in my body. I know that the thing I say to myself is, what the F are they thinking? And I know that the feeling in my body is of heat rising and my hands wanting to ball up into fists. When you've got that level of awareness, then you can catch it happening in a moment and choose something else. Before you have that level of awareness, you are in your subcortical brain area, you're reacting without the prefrontal cortex pause that says, wait a minute, is this how I actually want to act in this moment? And so my client is in the process of really getting clear and catching themselves as soon as they start feeling the anger coming up. And then the move that they're trying to make is looking at their partner. This usually happens with their kiddos. The move they're trying to make is looking at their partner and saying to their partner, I feel myself getting really angry. Can you step in while I go calm down? And so the commitment is, I'm not going to lose my temper with my kids. The process to get there is being aware of everything that tells them I'm about to move into big anger, and then taking that pause and choosing something different. Your particular is it problems? I don't know if problem is the word I want to use necessarily. It's more like the things you've learned in order to protect yourself in this world are going to be unique. They're going to be different than how anyone else protects themselves. And so what you might have to work on is going to be different than any of these three examples. Maybe what you're working on is loving yourself when you look in the mirror, rather than picking apart your body and finding everything that you dislike. Maybe your work is going to be learning to hold yourself with love and containment in moments whenever you're afraid your partner is going to abandon you. And instead of chasing after them or getting really mad at them, you're holding yourself with this thought of, I love you, I will never abandon you. I have no idea what your work might be. You might have an idea. I hope you do. If you've got a sense about it, leave me a comment below. Tell me, I know that my big work, at least right now, is this. Because awareness comes first. As soon as you know the thing that you're trying to work on, then you can actually do something about it. And once you get there, it's just a process of being committed to taking the different step rather than the move that is normal for you, the move that is subconsciously programmed inside of you because of your life experience. I hope that this makes sense. If you have questions, leave me comments. I love reading your comments, and I do respond. I like getting the feedback because these are big ideas. It's kind of hard to explain them without getting a little bit of feedback about where you might be lost. So tell me, please. I'd love to hear your comments. Remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel, Practice Intimacy, and you will get weekly tips, tools, ideas, practices, all related to relationship and how to have more connection in your life. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.